Yeah. All right. We are good to go. Happy Monday, everyone. Y'all, I don't know about you, but this whole year is like flying by. Okay. So I just have to say that because I'm like, well, maybe it's because I'm pregnant and like, I feel like I am not prepared for this child yet, but it's fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. Make sure that you guys are checking your online office. They are doing some announcements in there. I know that they just announced that a new product was going to be, or Carl is going to go live in the Beachbody Champions page, which if you are not in the Beachbody Champions page, I definitely recommend getting into that page, you guys. It's just a page ran, or a group on Facebook ran by Beachbody corporate, and they do like different trainings and stuff. I will say it can be very overwhelming if you're like in there all the time, but I know that Carl will go live in there if they do new product launches, program launches, that kind of thing. They'll go live about it in there. And I was just looking through the breaking news in our online office and saw that he is going live on the 19th about a new product. So that's pretty cool. Just don't want you guys missing out on it. So make sure that you're checking that coach breaking news in your coach online office every single day. You guys are always updating stuff. Second thing is we have a huge summer sale going on right now on all of our like big challenge packs. They're all $20 off. So make sure you're talking to your friends, your family. We're going to talk about connecting and inviting in a little bit tonight, but I want to make sure that you know what's on sale. Again, you should know that anyway, because you should be checking your online office and that coach breaking news. But if you're newer, or maybe you just forget to check that, we do have $20 off of all of our big challenge packs. So let's get up. It's $20 off. 90 Control Freak. I think like basically they're all are $20 off. So make sure you're talking about that, you guys. Make sure you're talking about that in your stories. Make sure you're talking about that when you're, talking to people about doing this with you. And again, we're going to talk about a little bit about that tonight. So hopefully it will help you get people on board, hitting Success Club, reaching your income goals, and the people that you're helping, right? So tonight we're going to be talking about connecting and inviting. I know that this is a topic that you probably have all heard before, and hopefully I can give you guys some like new suggestions, new tips that I've been trying out, because I've been in this business for 7 years. I say that and I sound like a freaking grandma when I say that, but I've been here for a long time, so I've had to like change it up. I'm not doing the same inviting that I was doing 7 years ago. It's changed a little bit. And I'm trying some new things that have actually been working really well for me. So I wanted to just share those with you. If you guys have any questions about inviting, connecting as we're going through this, feel free to either drop it in the chat, or I'll give you guys some time at the end to ask questions. But first and foremost, we have to be putting our journey out there in order for people, number one, in order for us to start connecting with people and us to have something to invite to. You have to be putting your journey out there. You have to be showing up on social media and sharing your story. I know that can be kind of intimidating if you're a newer coach, but I promise you, the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. Okay. You don't have to have the perfect filter. You don't have to be this expert in social media. You don't have to have a huge following to get people on board, you guys. We all started with 0 followers. Okay. We all started where many of you guys are starting now, right? With like maybe 50 followers, maybe 100 followers. Allie just said she retired herself with 1,600 followers. And you guys, yeah, I didn't even have Instagram when I walked away from my full-time job. Like Instagram wasn't, this is like making me feel so old when I say this. Like it wasn't a thing when I started
coaching. Grandma.
Yeah, I literally feel like a grandma. And I'm only 31, y'all. I'm not that old. But like, we didn't have Instagram when I started coaching. Like that wasn't a big thing. It existed, but it wasn't like a platform that people were using. We literally used our personal Facebook pages. And if you don't know this, like Facebook caps you out at 5,000 friends. And I did not have 5,000 friends. I didn't even know, like I maybe had like 100 friends, okay, on Facebook. And then I just slowly started to grow it. So it takes time to grow, and it takes time for for your story to get out there. But I think that Instagram honestly makes it a lot easier, because there's so many different ways that you can be reaching people, you guys. Now they have reels, which we're going to talk about in a minute, but they have reels, they have IGTV, they have stories. Like they didn't have any of that. Literally, I grew my business primarily on Facebook, posting every single day. Like I didn't have stories, but they didn't even have live videos back in the day. Okay. Like that's how long I've been in this business. So there's so many different ways now to connect with people. So I've had to learn, just like you guys are learning, how to do reels and how to do IGTV and how to do stories. And again, the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. But you have to be putting yourself out there in order for people to want to connect with you. Okay. We all have a story, and we all have we're all at different places in our lives, right? So we all have different people that we can connect with. Like who I might be able to connect with they may not vibe with you. I'm currently pregnant. Okay. So some of you guys may be currently pregnant. Some of you guys may not want children, right? Doesn't mean you can't connect with another pregnant mom just because you don't want children, but I might be able to connect with someone about their pregnancy because I'm pregnant versus someone who isn't, right? Someone who is a teacher. I'm not a teacher, so I don't really know much about teaching in school and things like that. So like I might not be able to connect with someone that is a teacher. And if you are a teacher, you could, right? So you have to be putting your story out there, not what every other coach is doing. Stop watching everyone else's stories, you guys. I see you watching my stories. Like I see it, which is fine. You can get inspiration from other coaches, but don't feel like you have to do what every other coach is doing. Don't feel like you have to be what every other coach is. Like your story is so powerful. And this isn't a social media call, but I think it's really important that you guys understand, like you have to put yourself out there and you have to put your story out there in order to make real connections with people who are just like you. If you are pretending to be someone else, or you're not really sharing like your heart and your like the vulnerability behind your story, people don't care. Like they don't care what you had for breakfast. They don't give an F, okay? But if you're sharing your life and your story and what makes you you, like you're gonna find your people. And I promise you, like I would rather have 500 followers of like my people, the people who are just like me, versus 17,000 followers who are we have nothing in common, right? And the way you do that is by just being you on your stories, by you sharing value, by you being you. So that's the first thing that I needed to put out there, because I can talk to you guys about connecting with people and I can share all these tips, but if you're not putting yourself out there consistently, none of this is going to matter. Okay. Second thing is, when I say putting yourself out there too, because I see a lot of newer coaches terrified, you guys, to talk on your stories. And I get it. Like if you've never talked in your stories, it's intimidating. I remember the first time, like when stories came out and it was like a thing, I'm like, I don't know how to do this. Like, and I had been coaching for years, but I didn't know what stories were. I felt weird talking to myself, like looking at myself and talking to myself. But that's how people, again, get to know you. They get to know you through your voice and through your stories. So make sure you're going and talking on them. Don't just show a boomerang every 5 minutes. No one cares. Again, like that's not going to add value to someone's life. So make sure that you are showing up consistently and sharing you and your story. Okay. So now that that's out the way, let's chat about how I've been connecting with people. And there's a ton of different ways. So I'm going to share all the ways that I've been doing it. But again, I would, if you're like newer, don't feel like, oh my gosh, I have to do this and this and this and this and this. Like start at one place and then add on these other things that I'm going to talk about as you're going. Okay. So the first place, or the first way that I like to connect with people, again, is through my stories. So me going on to my stories and just talking about what it is I'm dealing with, what it is I'm going through, how I'm feeling, but also making sure that I'm adding value for them. So I'm not just like sharing my life as like a reality TV, because again, not that people don't care. I do have people that come to my stories every day and watch me. But I want to make sure that I am providing value for them so that they're getting something out of my stories, not just like, oh, what's Jessie doing today? Right. Like today I wanted to add value to them. So I shared a recipe on there. I walked them through how I made my breakfast. And I know that sounds so weird, but I had multiple people messaging me and be like, oh my gosh, now I want to go make these 3-ingredient pancakes. I never knew you could do that, right? Like, so easy to add value in such a way that like you don't think might add a lot of value, but it does, right? I consider that a connection. I consider when someone reaches out to me because I've said something in my stories, or I've asked a question in my stories, or whatever, and they're responding, that's me connecting with them. That's me making a connection with them. So again, it doesn't have to be just like you sending them a message and you instantly connecting with them. If you are talking on your stories, if you're pregnant, if you're in nursing school or whatever it is, wherever you're at in your life, and you're sharing something about that, and people start having conversations, that is a connection. Okay. So don't overthink it. That's where I start every day in my stories. I start with connecting with people, and I literally pretend like I'm talking to my best friends when I'm talking on my stories, you guys. Like I pretend like Elaine, who's on here, who is my best friend, that like we're having a conversation back and forth, because I want my followers to feel like they're my friends, because they are, okay? Because they're my people, because I'm, again, being me on my social media. Um, so I'm making sure that I'm adding value there, okay? Um, in terms of me connecting, like if they're watching my stories, if they are following me, if they're liking some of my posts or reels or whatever, I always send them a connection message, like as soon as someone follows me, I send them a connection message. Maybe not like right then and there when they follow me, but I'm meaning like that day, I will send them a connection message. And all I say is just like, thank you so much for following me. I hope my page brings you inspiration and positivity. I know we need a lot more of that right now, right? I keep it super simple. Like you can add in a little bit about you if you want. You could say like you're a mom, or, whatever, you're into health and fitness, whatever you want. But I don't like try and sell them the minute they start following me, because they just started following me. They have no idea who I am. They don't trust me. I'm some random girl on social media, right? People aren't going to jump into this with you unless they know, like, and trust you. And if they just started following you, or they just started watching your stories, they're not going to want to jump in with you right away. They want to like see what this is about. They want to get to know you. So I just send them a simple, like, thanks for following me message, you guys. Again, I don't overcomplicate it. I don't send an invite right away. It's just a simple connection, like, thank you guys, or thank you so much for following me type of thing. And usually I'll ask them a question. So, like, again, that they're like bound to respond. So I usually say something like, hope this brings you positivity. Where are you from? Right? I like to get to know my followers. Where are you from? Something like that. You can add in, are you on your own health and fitness journey? Or are you a mom too? Or whatever you want to add in. Just add in something to where they're kind of prompted to respond back to you. And I have a lot of people respond back to that message, even if they're just saying like, oh, I love your page, you're so inspiring, or thank you so much for the message, that was so sweet. Like it doesn't have to be overcomplicated, okay? But that's another way I connect, is just sending them a thank you message. Guys, don't forget about Facebook. You can easily, like, my favorite way to connect with people, Allie's like, oh, I don't use Facebook. But I do, again, because I'm from the dinosaur ages of coaching. So like that's what I just am used to. And I still get a lot of people from Facebook. And the way that I do that is I send birthday messages every day, you guys. Just simply, happy birthday. I hope you're having a great day. Do you have any plans for today? And I usually, what I do is I pick one day a week to send them out. So like I don't send them every single day. I'll go on Monday and then I'll send them out for the whole week, because I don't know if you guys know this, but you can see like whose birthday is on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like for the whole week. And what I'll do is say like, hey, happy almost birthday. Right. And that, first of all, I'm like the first person to tell them happy birthday, which they're usually like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for thinking of me. That's so, so sweet. Allie said, where do you find birthdays on Facebook? So if you go to your Facebook page, now I'm gonna have to find it because I don't know, like, oh yeah, okay. So if you go to your, like, the main feed on your Facebook page from a computer, I do this from a computer because it's easy. You can do it from a phone too, but from my computer, if I just have it pulled up. So on the right hand side, you'll see normally like sponsored ads or whatever, but then there's also like a thing that says birthdays, and then it says like whose birthday it is, and then if you click on it, it usually pulls up whose birthday is today, but then you can go to like see upcoming birthdays, and you'll see like everyone's birthday for the week. And again, you guys, I just do that on Monday, and I send everyone a birthday message for the whole week. And then on Monday again, I send everyone the next week. And again, it's just a way for me to connect. And what Facebook and the way Facebook and Instagram work, unfortunately, you don't know when people's birthdays are on Instagram, but the way that Facebook works, the way that the algorithm works is that if I'm having a conversation in my inbox, so like if I send Allie a happy birthday message and we're talking, like I say, oh, what are your plans for this weekend? Or what are your plans for your birthday? And she says, oh, we're going to get tacos and margaritas. And then like we're going back and forth and just talking. And a lot of the people who I'm messaging right now are also like, oh my gosh, congrats on the baby. I just saw you're pregnant. So like we're having conversations. It's not just like a happy birthday, thanks, okay, bye. Some of those people are like that, but most of them, like, we're having conversation. Facebook automatically thinks like, oh, Jesse and Allie are friends and they want to see each other's stuff more. So when I post on Facebook, because I post on Instagram and Facebook, when I post on Facebook, my stuff gets seen more to Allie just because we had that conversation. Okay, that's how Facebook works. That's how Instagram works. If you notice, like, you may be friends with people that you never see on your feed, and it's because you'll never interact with each other. The more that you interact with each other via you liking or commenting on their posts, or vice versa, or you having conversations with them, or you being tagged in photos with them, those are the people that you're going to see more and more in your feed. And those are the people who are going to see your stuff on their feed. So you want to make sure that you're connecting with people, and that's an easy way to do it. So birthday messages, new follower messages, same thing you could do with like new friend requests. I think Facebook's a little bit more like, when I get a friend request on Facebook, I'm like, why? Like, I don't like when people friend request me on Facebook unless I know them. I think it's weird. But on Instagram, like, the point is to have more followers, right? So I don't recommend like going down a random list of people and just friend requesting them on Facebook, because again, I think that's weird. When someone friend requests me on Facebook, I'm like, who are you and what do you want? Who are you friends with? Like, mutual friends with, that kind of thing. But I do make sure that I am, really connecting with my people who are friends with me on Facebook. So make sure you do that by, again, liking their posts, commenting on their posts, sending them a happy birthday message is just like the easiest way to connect. In terms of, so I just want to put that out there for Facebook, because I know that a lot of people forget to do that. In terms of, connecting with new people on Instagram. So one thing that I have been doing that's been really, really helpful is Reels, you guys. And I know you've heard it over and over again, like, you need to do Reels, you need to do Reels, you need to do Reels, but you really do need to do Reels. Instagram is big right now on Reels. They're pushing it. So when you do them, they show them to more people. And I haven't had, like, I'm not a big, mine haven't gone viral or anything crazy like that. But I've had a few that have gone like to 10,000. I've had a few that have hit like 30,000 views, which is pretty cool, but not, most of mine are like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, maybe like 5,000 views. Okay. Which I know the more you do them, the more Instagram is going to show them to your people. Okay. So the way that I've been connecting with people though is you can see who's liked your reels. And what I like to do, and it's the same thing when people are like watching my stories or liking my post. So I did a reel a few days ago, and I can go, I'm trying to pull it up so that you guys I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay. So I had, oops, stop, I don't want to hear it. Okay. So I had, like, you can see who's liked it right on the side. So if you click on the little likes, like how many people liked it, you can see who's liked it. Okay. So all these people liked that reel. So what I like to do is I like to go to that reel, and then I look to see who has stories. And the way that you do that is you see they have a little circle by their face. That means that they have stories, and I'll just go watch their stories. And I usually try and like comment on something genuinely, like if I'm watching something and they have a cute kid or they are pregnant or whatever, I can be like, oh, how far along are you? I'm pregnant too, or whatever, right? Like, we can just start a conversation. But they came to me through a reel. Like, I didn't even have to go find these people. They're coming to me through these reels. So make sure that you are doing reels, but do them for like your niche, do them for your market, right? So like I had one that went to 10,000 views, and it was about Mother's Day, how I'm pregnant, and how my husband told me that, I mean, he didn't tell me this, so this was a joke, so whatever, but he was like, "Oh, you don't like, you're not getting a Mother's Day present, you're not a mom yet." And I'm like, "I do you see this thing, you know?" And I had 10,000 people watch it, right? And 400 people like it. So like I've been connecting, a lot of those people are pregnant. A lot of those people have kids. So it's easy for me to go in, watch their stories, or go to their page. And if they look like someone that, you know, is my person, I can go in and engage with them. I can like their posts. I can comment on their posts. I can connect with them. And then what's happening is when I'm doing that, they're watching my stories. So they're seeing my subtle invites when I'm inviting on my stories, or when I'm talking about my boot camps, or when I'm talking about this business. So it kind of like does the inviting for you, but you have to be connecting with people every single day. And I only spend about 20 minutes, you guys, connecting with people. I don't spend an hour connecting with people. I spend 20 minutes. It takes me like 2 minutes to copy paste a happy birthday message for Facebook and just go down the list. Again, I only do that once a week. And then it takes me about, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes to reach out to the people who are, you know, engaging on my reels, newer people, me, because a lot of these people too I've already connected with, so we just keep chatting. But newer people, I like go through and I'll watch their stories and connect with them that way. Okay, so you've got reels, you can do IGTVs. Same thing, you guys, when someone likes your IGTV or watches your IGTV, you can go through and connect with them that way. And then this other third way that I've really been connecting with people, and it's been very helpful for me, is with a freemium, meaning like some type of free PDF or free whatever you want to create. So for example, I have a spring cleaning PDF that I got from my VA, or my virtual assistant. If you pay for like content, like Mompreneur usually has a bunch of freemiums. If you are in boot camps, and you'll have like meal plans, like that's a freemium, you guys. That's free value that you could add to someone's life, right? By sending them a free meal plan. I wouldn't do that every week, but like I was talking about my spring cleaning PDF, and I have an email list, like I collect emails for people who want something like that. So I was talking about it, I talked to her about it for 2 days, and I had over 50 people join my email list just from me talking about a spring cleaning PDF. I showed it a few times. I talked about it. I'm actually doing it. Like I'm spring cleaning. I'm using it to like clean out my house before this kid gets here. So I like talked about that, and I had over 50 people join my email list. Again, that's me connecting with them because now they're on my email list. And I send out one email a week. It's like a weekly newsletter basically. And they get free value. It's not all like join my boot camp, join my boot camp, join my boot camp emails. I usually do add something at the end of my emails like, hey, if you ever want to join my boot camps, the door is open. Or if I'm having a coach sneak peek, I'll add something about that in there. But it's really about adding value. So I'll send recipes. I'll send like tips on getting like today I could have sent one, I didn't, but I could have sent one about getting back on track after a holiday like Mother's Day, right? You could send them really anything. Like Pinterest, you guys, has so many free like things that you could be using to help your followers and to help your customers and clients. So that's something that I highly recommend if you do have an email list, to start doing freemiums. If you don't have an email list, you don't even necessarily need an email list. Just tell them like, hey, I have a free PDF. If anyone wants it, drop your email in my inbox, or click on this poll and I'll send it to you, right? Like, again, you don't necessarily have to have like a fancy email list, but it's a way to really add value to their lives and give them an opportunity to join your email list. And then guess what? When I send out an email about the next program or my next boot camp, they're on my email list and they're getting that, and they're like, maybe I should do that because she's already added value to my life and I didn't even pay for anything yet, right? People like free stuff. So if you can add value to their life and you can give them something like a spring cleaning, or even, I mean, whatever. Like I was actually thinking the other day, like, okay, what could I do for new moms, like, or pregnant moms, like pregnant tip, or, healthy eating tips while pregnant. Like I could easily do something like that. It can literally be anything. If you're a dog mom, like figure out a way to tie that into your Beachbody business, you guys. So it can be anything that has to do. If you're a teacher, like I know it's Teacher Appreciation Month, right? Like do something for teachers. If you were a teacher, or if you're a former teacher, like why not do a free PDF that's, maybe sharing like how to create a morning routine before you have to go to school or whatever. Like get creative with it, but you get my drift, right? So freemiums have been huge for me. And a lot of those people, what I'm telling them to do, like I send them an email with the PDF, but in that email, I also said like, tag me if you're using it, or tag me if you print it out, or whatever. Like you can get them to tag you. You can give them like a little challenge to do. And as they're tagging you, their friends start seeing your stuff. So you get more followers. It's just a really awesome way to connect with more people. Okay. And another thing that you could do with a freemium, you could run a free group. So if you do like I'm just going to use the spring cleaning thing as like an example. I could easily do like a 7-day free spring cleaning group and talk about like once a day, go in there live, share about, and it doesn't have to be like, I'm not even talking about just like physically cleaning, but like cleaning up your diet, cleaning up your mindset, cleaning up your whatever, your house, your car, whatever, right? So you could do a 7-day group. And again, that's adding value. I wouldn't do free groups every single week, you guys, because if you're inviting to free stuff all the time, people aren't going to want to pay for anything. And I usually don't promote any like free group unless I've already hit Success Club, because I want to make sure that that's locked in. But I will run like free groups every once in a while. Again, you can invite these people who you've given freemiums to before. And if they know that you're actually giving them value, they might want to be a part of it too. Again, that's you connecting with them. That's you building a relationship with them. This is a relationship business. This isn't just you going down your followers list and sending invites to people who you have never talked to before. Okay. That's not really going to get you anywhere. You really connecting with them is where it's at. The invite, like either they'll end up just saying, okay, what are these boot camps about? Tell me more. Or that when you do invite them, when you do send an invite, it won't be as like random, and they'll be like, oh, well, she's already added value to my life. Like, why would I not want to do this? Right. I'm looking at the chat. Yeah, Shanice, just message me because I'll forget, because I have pregnancy brain, which I know you know. I know you know about it. So just message me after and I can send you the list. Anyway, so that is how I've been connecting with people. The freemiums have been huge. I know Allie's been doing like her 30 strong thing, which I know has been connecting with a lot of people. Like, again, change it up, you guys. Don't do the same thing every month. Like if you are passionate about something, like if you like to knit, you guys do like a free 5-day knitting group. Like not even kidding. It doesn't have to be with anything to do with health and fitness. It doesn't have to do with Beachbody. Like you can really grow a following and really grow like relationships for something that you're super passionate about that has nothing to do with Beachbody, and still get people interested in Beachbody. Okay. Because again, that's you building that relationship. So I highly, highly recommend finding your passion, like figuring out what excites you, what people ask you about, and going from there. If you have a really solid morning routine, like you wake up at the crack of dawn every morning and you're like energized and you don't have to press snooze and you do your morning routine, do a group on morning routines. Like it doesn't have to be anything, you don't have to like reinvent the wheel. You're already doing it. So why not share that with other people? So that is the connection piece of this. If you guys have questions about that, let me know. Danielle said, by the way, if you want to see birthday messages on Facebook from your cell phone, in the search box at the top, put birthdays and it should pop up. Didn't know that. Good job, Danielle. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, Shanice, healthier Trader Joe's guide. Like that's awesome. People love Trader Joe's. There's Trader Joe's everywhere. So again, get creative. It's just again, really easy way to connect with people. So again, let's move to inviting, because now y'all know how to connect with people. Again, it's not that hard. Like if you're doing your job and you're showing up and sharing your story and you are using the tools that Instagram gives you and that Facebook gives you, like stories and reels and all those things, it shouldn't be hard to connect with people. But the inviting part I know can be a little intimidating because you're like, okay, I've just connected with all these people. I don't want them to think I'm salesy. I don't want to be pushy. I don't want them to think that I'm annoying. I'm scared to invite them, whatever is going on in your head. That's the first thing that you need to figure out. Get over yourself, okay? Because you are inviting them. When we're inviting people, you guys, I have the attitude of like, I get to invite. I don't have to invite. I get to invite to this business and to this opportunity that's changed my life. Okay. Um, this business and these programs and this community has transformed my entire life. So to me, like I want to share this with other people. I want other people to be a part of it because it's not my job to um make that decision for other people. Like I have to give them the opportunity, and if they say no, that's fine. But I also need to give them the opportunity because it was given to me. Had my coach not shared this with me, I say this all the time. Had my coach not shared this with me, I wouldn't be here. And I know that there's other women just like me that are like praying and wishing for something to change, sitting on their bathroom floor, eating a box of Oreos with a bottle of tequila in their hand. That was me when my coach reached out to me. You guys, literally crying because I couldn't fit in any of my clothes while I was eating Oreos and drinking straight out the bottle of tequila. So I know that there are people and other women out there that are doing the same thing. Hopefully not every night, but they're doing the same thing. They need help. And if I can help them in any way, like I would be selfish if I didn't invite them to do this with me. That's how I think of inviting. I'm not scared to invite. If someone tells me no, they're not, that has nothing to do with me. If someone tells me that I'm annoying, that has nothing to do with me. Okay. It has to do with them. So the way you think about inviting has to change before you can like go into inviting confidently. And that's really, really, really important. You have to be confident in what you're inviting to and to this opportunity, because if you're not confident, people are going to read through that and feel that. Danielle, we will talk about that in a minute. Okay. So that's the first thing. You have to be confident and you have to shift your mindset. And that takes practice, you guys. Again, the more you do it, just like talking on your stories, just like getting better at posting on social media, just like anything we do in life, the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. When I first invited 7 years ago, it was a cluster. Like, I don't know why people signed up with me when I first started. I would like write all these like long ass messages and give every detail of everything that we were doing. It was ridiculous. I'm like, I would never read this message if I was a person. Like, just like looking back now, I'm like, yeah, I don't know why I always joke about my first coach who signed up with me because she asked me about 21 Day Fix. We were talking about it, and I literally wrote her like, I basically wrote her the 21 Day Fix book. I was like, oh, the red container, you can eat this, and this, and this, and it's a protein, and you can have this many. And it was too much, right? But I was so excited that I wanted to share it with her. So your inviting and your conversations will get better the more you do it. You'll figure out like what works and what doesn't work, but you've got to do it. I can't give you scripts. I mean, I can, but like I can't because you learn from doing it yourself. And I know we give scripts in our team pages and stuff, but you will learn how to make it work for you, right? So when you're inviting, you have to be confident and you have to just do it over and over and over again until you get like your groove. You'll find your groove. You'll figure out what you want to say and how you want to say it. You'll figure out if voice messages work better for you or text messages or whatever. You have to figure out what works for you when it comes to inviting. But I keep it super, super, super simple. So after I connect with people, and again, people do this differently. You can write their names down after you've been chatting with them. What I usually do is I have a tracking system. So I use my tracking system in terms of like adding them to my tracking system to know like, okay, you've connected with them for so many days. You're going to go back and invite them. And all I say, you guys, when my invites, I keep it again, super simple. I do change it up every now and again, depending on obviously what I'm inviting to, whether it's a boot camp, a free group, the coaching opportunity, whatever. I just keep it simple and say something like, hey sister, I see you're still watching my stories. Not sure if you saw my boot camp, but my Let's Get Up test group is kicking off on Monday. Wanted to see if you wanted in on it, or wanted to see if you wanted me to send you more details on it. And I usually added fun emojis in there. That's it. Again, I don't like overcomplicate it. I don't send them 20 paragraphs. I just keep it super, super short, super simple. I know we've talked about this before, but I use the Ditto app, Ditto. Allie is a lifesaver and showed me that app when we went to Disney World, and it is legit like amazing. It looks like this little guy, this little purple guy, Ditto, Ditto. And it's basically like a keyboard, so you can have different categories. So I actually have like connection messages saved. I know y'all can't see that because I'm trying to show y'all from my phone, but I have connection messages saved, messages like inviting from a post, messages inviting from a story, coach invites, more info, follow-ups. Like I have all of those in my Ditto to where I can just go in and I can, copy paste. I usually do personalize it a little bit with their name. So I'll say like, hey, Allie, and then I press my Ditto app to add in whatever invite I want to send. So that just keeps it easy for me. You can go in and edit those if you want to change them up every few months, but that's all I do. And then from there, after I invite them, obviously, if they're saying yes, that they're interested, then I move them into a different part of my tracker. Because obviously, if they're interested, then like we're going to have more in depth of a conversation. I don't really add people to my tracker if they never respond to me, or they ghost me or whatever. But I also don't stop inviting and don't stop following up with someone until they tell me to leave them alone. If they're coming to watch me every single day, you guys, I'm going to follow up with you. Not every single day, but I'll follow up with you at least once a month. Like, hey, sis, I see you still watching me. Not sure if you're interested, but I have this group happening, or I have this boot camp happening, or this opportunity happening. And you guys, I will tell you, like most of the coaches who are on my team who are on this call, I had to reach out to them more than one time before they jumped in. Okay. Lauren, who was on this call, literally probably like, I don't know, a year of conversations going back and forth. Sometimes she'd be like, okay, I'm ready to do this. Send me a share card. I send her a share card. And then like she'd ghost. I'm like, okay. But I never gave up on her because she kept coming back and watching me. So if you have someone or people that are doing that, don't give up on them. Okay. I'm not saying to message them every day. I'm not saying to drive them up the wall, but like you following up with them, you sending them another invite, they might not be ready the first time or the fifth time that you reach out to them. That sixth time that you're like, oh, I'm not going to send them an invite because I don't want to be annoying, or I don't want her to hate me, or whatever. That sixth time might be the time where she's like, okay, I need to do this. Let's just freaking go. Right. So make sure you don't give up on people when you're going to invite. Keep inviting them until they tell you to leave them alone. And most of the time they don't, because they end up coming back to me. Even if they tell you to leave them alone, I've had people tell me like, F off, I don't want to be part of that. Okay, great, whatever. They end up coming back and now they're part of my team. So like you will be shocked, okay, with how many times you reach out to someone and they finally jump on board. But it's because you're consistent in sharing your story. It's because you're consistent in having conversations. And even the people who, ghost or whatever, I will, like, it's not just me straight inviting them every single month. I'll try and like have other conversations with them in between that, because I care about them and I do want them to know, like, I'm not just trying to sell you something. So if they have stories or they have posts, I do engage. Again, I always go back to the connecting piece before I send another invite, if that makes sense. So that's all I do. It is not complicated. It is super simple. I know I threw a lot out there. Danielle asked if we could briefly talk about finding your people on Instagram. I don't know if you have like specific questions about that, Danielle, but for me, again, it changes. It's changed a lot over the last 7 years, because when I started, I didn't have kids. I wasn't married. My story was different. My goals were different in terms of like me. So like I've kind of shifted my people a little bit. When I first started, I was like right out of college. So I was speaking to a lot of college age kids. I was speaking to a lot of like people who had just graduated. Again, not to say I couldn't help older people or I couldn't help people with kids, because I did, but like I didn't speak to the moms because in terms of like my story, I didn't like focus on talking about um helping those kind of people because that wasn't me. So the way that I find my people is by being me and by like speaking my story now in the season that I'm currently in. So like right now, because I'm pregnant, I'm connecting with a lot of soon to be moms, a lot of people who are trying to get pregnant, because I've also shared that I've had a miscarriage before. And I know that that's something that is vulnerable and a lot of people might not want to talk about things like that, but I know that me sharing that piece of my story will help me connect with other women who have been through something like that too. And again, that's just us forming relationships, you guys, because I have connected with so many women who have struggled with infertility or loss, and even like being pregnant after loss. It's you have major anxiety. It's just you're able to really connect with people and talk to people about how you're feeling that really get you, right? So right now, my people are those kind of people, pregnant women, people with young kids, wives, like that kind of thing. So you have to figure out who you are in order to find your people, right? So I don't know if you have any specific questions about that, if that helps. Another way to find your people is like figure out like what you like to look at on Instagram. Hopefully you're not spending hours upon hours a day scrolling Instagram, but like there are a few accounts that I will go to after I do my power hours and after I do my work that's not Beachbody coaches. I don't watch other Beachbody coaches. So I wouldn't recommend doing that because you're literally pushing your followers to them. But if you have like accounts that you like to follow, like what's the girl's name? It's like the papaya something, bird papaya. I don't even know her name. I've seen her a few times, but she's all about like body positivity. And I used to love going to her stories and watching her stories. I don't do it as much just because I'm trying to focus and I'm not scrolling so much. But I would go to her page every morning or every afternoon and like look at what she's sharing and look at her stories, and because it caught my attention, right? So if there's people who you follow that are not Beachbody coaches that it's similar, like why are you watching them? What are they speaking about? Obviously you're spending time like focusing on what they're doing and focusing on what they're sharing. So you're interested. So if you're interested in something like that, your followers will probably be interested in something like that. Meaning you should start talking about those kinds of things. That don't copy Bird Papaya or whatever her name is, but like you get my drift. Like whatever you're interested in, your followers, your people will probably be interested in too. So if you start talking about it, like me, for example, I am really competitive and I like challenges. So like I like doing things like 75 hard. I enjoy doing things like 75 hard. I've prepped for a bikini competition because I wanted to be challenged. I like taking on new challenges. So like when I do things like that and I talk about them, people that also like those kinds of things are attracted to my page and are attracted to my stories, and then we get to connect. So you have to figure out like who you are and what you like and what you enjoy, and those are the things, again, adding value to people's lives through the things that you like. But like Shanice said earlier, she likes Trader Joe's. Well, there's a lot of people who like Trader Joe's and go to Trader Joe's all the time. I don't because it's too far from my house. But like if she has and talks about Trader Joe's a lot and has people asking her questions about it, why not do something to where you're doing that once a week, or when you go to the grocery shop or grocery store, you do like a grocery haul and show your groceries if people are asking you about it, or that's what you like, right? Like it's just you have to figure out, because she'll find other Trader Joe's people who love Trader Joe's too, and that's a way to connect. I know it seems so silly because it's like, okay, same grocery store, who cares? But like people do. And they'll know like, oh, I need to ask Shanice about Trader Joe's, what's happening over there right now, or like what's the new thing at Trader Joe's, right? So you've got to figure out what you like, who you are, in order to find your people on Instagram. I can't really tell you like, I mean, you can go to, if there's a page that you like, you can go to that person's page, and go follow some of the people that are following them, but you still have to do the work it takes to connect with those people. Just because like you're following Bird Papaya and someone else is following Bird Papaya doesn't mean that y'all are going to be like best friends just because y'all are following the same person. You have to really make the work and do the work to connect with them. You know what I mean? So hopefully that helped, Danielle. I don't know if that answered your question, but hopefully it did. Yeah, Shanice said that's exactly what happened. She had 3 people sign up over time from just talking about Trader Joe's. Like, y'all, it's that simple. It really is that simple. You connect with people for something that you like, something that you love. Again, doesn't have to be health and fitness related. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. And you can, I know coaches in this network who are super successful because they love Harry Potter and they talk about Harry Potter all the time and they connect with other women who like Harry Potter. Like it's things like that. I like Friends, like the show Friends. I'm obsessed. My husband hates it because we watch the same things over and over and over again. But when I talk about Friends, I have other people who follow me who also like Friends, like themed things. And instantly we have a connection because we're like talking about Ross and Rachel and how they were on a break or how they weren't on a break. You know what I mean? Like it's that simple. Does anyone have any questions before I pop off? Or Allie, did you want to add in anything? Marissa, I don't know where y'all are at, but if y'all want to add in anything.
I'm here. No, I think you hit everything pretty well. I know as a new coach, it can be really intimidating to think of like freemiums and think of email lists and think of all this stuff. And you don't have to have all the answers, just start. Like, even if it's like a free, like little like recipe book that you got from, a boot camp or something like that. Like it doesn't have to be something crazy like, hey, if you want this, drop your email. I think sometimes we get caught up in I know at least I would, like, I've got to have the flow desk or whatever those people are doing. Like, y'all, I just got a flow desk. Like, I mean, Jesse was the one who forced me into it.
And I just got it last year and it's been 6 years. So like again, you don't have to, like Allie's saying, have these fancy things. Like,
But I think sometimes hearing, all these other things, it can get a little overwhelming and then we shut down. But just start collecting emails. That's the biggest thing. And even if you're just collecting them on like a Google sheet or like a spreadsheet, like just keeping them, because take it from somebody who literally like was deathly afraid they were going to lose their Instagram. I now only handle an email. Like I don't handle in the DMs anymore. Because I don't want to lose anybody. But you don't have to go that extreme, but at least collect their email and say, hey, just in case something happens weird with my Instagram, just can I get your email, and put it in a spreadsheet. It'll make it easy for a follow-up system. And then you'll have a bunch of emails for whenever you do eventually create a email list, then you'll already have some to import. So I think that's the only thing that I had, because I know that would have overwhelmed me. It did overwhelm me. And that was like 6 months ago.
yes. Yeah. And like I said earlier, guys, it doesn't even have to be an email list. Like you sharing a free recipe just on your stories could help you connect with someone, right? Or you saying like, who wants the recipe for, like, I made enchilada quinoa thing tonight. Like I didn't post the recipe right away. I haven't posted it at all because I know I already have people in my inbox like, oh my gosh, send me the recipe. So again, like that's me connecting with them and me saying, okay, well, yeah, I'll send it to you. Can I have your email? Because you can't send recipe. I mean, I'm not going to type up a recipe to send over on like Instagram DMs. Like I can say like, hey, yeah, send me your email and I'll send it over to you, or whatever. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. You don't have to go create a bunch of stuff. Again, like go into, if y'all are in like the Boss Babes, there's a Boss Babes Facebook group that has a bunch of like people share stuff all the time. So like go search in there saying like, hey, does anyone have a free meal plan or a free whatever it is you're trying to do, instead of you creating the wheel or reinventing the wheel. That's just another tip. But
Or you can always jack our stuff.
yeah, right. Like if I'm sending you a spring cleaning, like feel free. Like I tell my girls all the time, like use the meal plans that I'm posting in the team page or in the
Or I mean,
boot
even sign
camp.
up for other coaches' accounts. Like I signed up for Jesse's spring cleaning.
Or that, I mean, whatever.
Just kidding.
Danielle
Don't
said,
don't don't listen to my bad behavior.
do you use hashtags when you make posts on Instagram? I do. I don't feel like I really connect much through hashtags that much. I don't know if Allie or Marissa have anything that if they do this, but I don't. I mean, I use them just because I know some people search them, but I feel like now like hashtags aren't like, I mean, again, they're important to use, but I don't think that I don't spend time because like that will just take, I will like go down the rabbit hole of hashtags forever. Spending time like searching hashtags, I just really talk and like I use the hashtags that like apply to me. So like I just found out I'm having a little boy. So like boy mom things, which is so weird. But like boy mom things, like I'm searching like, you know, or I'm using those kind of hashtags when I'm talking about being pregnant. But I don't like search hashtags necessarily to connect with people because it gets too overwhelming for me. I use them so that if someone is searching them, they can find me through them, but I don't, that's not how I connect with people. Does that make sense? I don't know if that helps, but I use them on my posts. I use them on my reels, and then but the way that I like connect with people or find new people to connect with is by doing reels, having content that's adding value, because that's really what drives people to my page. Any other questions, you guys? I forgot to say this in the beginning. Next week we're gonna have a guest speaker. Right, Marissa? Marin is talking next week. Is that
yeah, Marin. Oh my God.
What is happening? You're echoing. Oh, because you're on here like 3 times. What is happening over there? But yes, Marin is our friend Marin. We're all friends with Marin. She is gonna come and speak. She is in the Millionaires Club, or what do they call it now? Legacy Club. So she's made over $1 million in this business, you guys. She's amazing. So she's going to come drop some incredible things to you guys next week. So make sure that you are here for that. But if you guys don't have any other questions, then I will let you guys go. Anything? Nope. All right. Well, hope you all have a great night. I hope this was helpful. If you guys have any questions, feel free to message me, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye, everyone.